Most board roles are not advertised. That single sentence changes how you understand a board career. If most board roles aren't advertised, then most board roles are filled through something else, through conversations, through trusted introductions, through the question that quietly circulates among chairs and existing directors. Who do we know? Welcome back to Women Leading Beyond Bias. I'm Sandra D'Souza, founder of Elect, and one of the long-running questions we work with is how women move into board roles. Not through wishful thinking, through the actual mechanics of how boards get built. Today's episode is about those mechanics. Research from the Australian Institute of Company Directors and similar bodies internationally has consistently found that the majority of board appointments happen through networks rather than through open recruitment processes. Studies in the UK and the US show the same picture. Even when search firms are involved, the shortlist is usually shaped by the chair's existing relationships, who they trust, who their existing directors trust, who has been recommended quietly over a coffee or in a phone call. This is not a hidden conspiracy. It's how high trust appointments tend to work. The cost of appointing the wrong director is high enough that most chairs prefer to start with people their network can vouch for. I've watched this play out for many women who want to move into board roles. They take the course, they polish the board CV, they apply to advertised roles, and then they wonder why nothing seems to be moving. Meanwhile, women I know who have built strong board careers describe a very different path. They didn't apply, they were called. Someone they had worked with, served alongside, or been introduced to over time, picked up the phone and said, "We have a board seat opening and I'd like to suggest you." And on the other side of the table, I've spoken with chairs who carry a different kind of weight. When a board appointment goes wrong, the consequences are real. A poor culture fit can derail an entire board's dynamic. A director who doesn't understand their fiduciary duties can expose the organization to risk. A director who can't disagree well in the boardroom can create months of difficult dynamics for the chair to manage. So when chairs say they appoint through networks, they're not being lazy, they're being careful. The wrong director costs more than the right one by a long margin. So if you are working toward a board role, here are 3 things worth thinking about. 1, your board career starts long before you apply for a board. It starts with the relationships you build over the years with chairs, directors, CEOs, and people who sit on nominating committees. Every speaking engagement, every panel, every coffee, every cross-organization project becomes part of your visible track record. Boards appoint people they have watched, not people they have just met. 2, boards are looking for a specific kind of contribution, not a generalist resume. Chairs often describe wanting directors who bring something the existing board doesn't already have. Sector experience, digital fluency, risk experience, cultural lens, lived experience the board needs to understand its members or customers. The question is rarely, are you senior enough? The question is, what gap do you fill? 3, the right relationships are built before they are needed. By the time a board seat opens, it is too late to start meeting the people who might recommend you. The directors I respect most have spent years quietly supporting other people's appointments, sitting on advisory groups, contributing to industry conversations, being known as someone reliable and considered. The opportunities come later, often through people they helped years earlier. This conversation lives at the center of the relationships pillar in the PRISM framework. Relationships are the most underinvested asset in most women's leadership careers. We tend to be good at the work. We tend to be less practiced at being known beyond it. A board career, perhaps more than any other career, is built on whether the people who matter, who you know who you are, what you carry, and how you contribute. So here's a reflection for the week. If a board seat opened in the next 6 months, who need to think of your name first. And of those people who already knows your work well enough to recommend you with confidence. If the list is shorter than you like, that's useful information. A helpful first step can be choosing one person and having a real conversation with them this month. Thank you for being here. If you know a woman who is working towards a board role, please share this with her. I'll see you in the next episode.